Today I'm visiting with Carter Flaman, the Territory Rental Manager for Saskatchewan, Manitoba at Flaman Group of Companies. And first of all, Carter, just tell me what are those group of companies?
There's a few. We've got a fitness division, agriculture sales division, parts, rentals, hardware, a shop to service the equipment that we sell, and of course a rental division.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. And the reason we're visiting here today is that Dwayne Thiessen of Agriventures of Crystal City, Manitoba, is one of your dealers here in Manitoba. So tell me a bit about the units Dwayne rents out to farmers in his area.
You bet, Harry. Dwayne rents out a variety of tillage equipment. He's got heavy braking discs, high-speed tillage, and vertical tillage. And he just added a new ripper, like a subsoiler, to his rental fleet as well. On top of that, he rents out land rollers, harrows, mowers, grain vacs, and a couple other items such as trailers.
You know, when I look at the farmers, and as you know, I'm a farm journalist and I speak to farmers, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn, every day. And I had my brother here just a few days ago, and he said, you know what? He says, we've actually finished our tillage this fall. But it sounded like there weren't a lot of people that have actually finished their tillage. So, how can Dwayne then fit some of that equipment into some of those soil conditions? Some are drier, some are wetter, and so forth.
Definitely, and from my point of view, I'm looking at it from Saskatchewan and Manitoba, more so from like a 30,000 foot point of view.
Yeah.
In Dwayne's area and his region, for the most part, it'll all be the same um, soil conditions down there, and for the most part, I believe harvest is already wrapped up for the 2018 season. It's been a quick harvest for some guys, so some of those guys might have been out in the field and got their tillage done early, but there's definitely still some people out there that we're hoping that we can get about another month and a half of tillage and field work before we get that fluffy white stuff.
You're absolutely right. So then tell me about Dwayne and why he represents your company.
For sure. So Dwayne started with Flaman Rentals as a rental dealer about 3 years ago, and he has slowly grown his fleet, and he's been working a lot with the farmers in the area and actually renting out to some of the pipeline work that is going on in that area as well.
So, you know, I've seen Dwayne grow at least the last couple of years into this business, and I sense, you know, from when I first met with him to meeting with him not that long ago and talking to him on the phone, you know, there's been a good positive attitude shift, and I say that positively because you know that's what we need in this kind of business.
Definitely, yep. With Dwayne's experience, he just keeps gaining more and more experience each season and working alongside the farmers. His family's farms and he farms himself too. So um, he knows what's going on, and he is eager to add new pieces to his fleet that people might be interested in within his area. And yeah, he's doing very, very well. His first few years have been great, and we've been very proud of Dwayne and being able to have him as part of our family, we call it.
You know, then the next question is that so what is that working relationship between Dwayne and Flaman? Meaning, what do you do for him to make it even better for him reaching out to farmers?
Definitely. So we have 6 corporate locations in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and we have 28 rental dealer locations. So Dwayne is one of those rental dealer locations located in Crystal City. So it's pretty well straight south of Brandon, fairly close to the border for anybody that isn't aware of where Dwayne works out of.
So yeah, it's a great great farming area. You know, I travel the province and I have for 47 years, each area is just a little bit more unique than others. But what the unique equipment, and we may have touched on some of that, but let's review it again. Would farmers in Dwayne's region be looking for and using?
For sure. So for the most part, and from what I've seen traveling around the Crystal City and southern um, part of Manitoba, especially within Dwayne's immediate region, there's not a ton of cattle out there, so we're focused more on the grain farmer. So your tillage needs, grain handling equipment, a couple trailers for the odd haul here and there, and stuff like that.
What are they then renting specifically?
Well, Dwayne in his fleet, he's got a K-line, a 30-foot K-line speed tiller, a multi-flex series. He has a 14-foot and 22-foot Wishick discs. Those are heavy discs for really breaking up and penetrating the land. Dwayne has a VRX REM grain vac, a 15-foot Schulte heavy-duty mower. You can mow ditches or cattails. And he's also got a couple pieces of vertical tillage, subsoiling equipment, and land rollers and harrows.
So, I go back on the farm when my dad farmed 1,000 acres back in 1960, which was a huge farm, and I don't even ever think that he thought of renting equipment. To him, it was own, 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 pay off, pay off, pay off, and make sure you got enough money to buy the next unit. So how come farmers are renting today?
Definitely, and I think we see that shift with some of the older generation. They like to save up and pay with cash, and now we've got a lot of the younger guys that are looking to rent and not necessarily expend that capital to purchase that piece when they can just go and rent it. They don't have to worry about maintenance. Renting is 100% write off. And yeah, like I mentioned, the big part is that there's no capital outlay, so you're not spending all of your money at once. You can just go and rent, and you're always getting new, well-maintained equipment. And Dwayne is also very cautious of keeping his equipment clean. He just bought a pressure washer unit because from one field to the next, we don't want to spread any disease. So Dwayne is very diligent with keeping all of his equipment clean and tidy, so you don't have to worry about spreading any disease either.
That's an awesome point, Carter. That whole aspect of biosecurity. I've followed it in hogs, and you follow it in some of those crops that we have and so forth, and that's really good, because that would be kind of a next question. Where has that piece of that tooling equipment been the last time, right?
For sure, and it's getting to be a bigger and bigger concern for farmers and producers across not only Dwayne's region but across the country, is that cross-contamination, and it's something that we take very seriously here.
So then, tell me once again a bit about Flaman Rentals, and more specifically, why did they start renting out equipment?
You bet. So back in 1959, the Flaman Group of Companies was founded by my great-uncle Frank, and in 1994, they decided to start renting out farm equipment out of our corporate locations at that time. Since then, we've added on a few more corporate locations, and each of those locations rent equipment, and we've expanded our rental dealer area a lot as well. The rental dealers, and the benefit of having them out in the rural parts of the provinces, is that with farm equipment, it's very tough to transport it long distances on the roads because a lot of it is slow moving. So being able to take that equipment and put it out into rural areas and offer that locally to farmers is a big benefit for them, and it's been appreciated by farmers all over.
So then, when you look at putting a person in an area, what kind of qualities do you look for?
Well, at the Flaman Group of Companies, we definitely like to have friendly staff working with us. I feel pretty fortunate to say that I work with some of my best friends, and someone with a good attitude, hardworking, and that's exactly what Dwayne is.
Then, any other comments that you would like to make, or something that you could suggest that we talk about before we come to an end in this program?
Yes, there is a couple things that I want to mention. First off is that Dwayne is able to deliver equipment too. I know usually our rental busy seasons are spring and fall, and that's also the busy season for most of the farmers and producers. So it's a nice benefit to those guys and service that Dwayne is able to deliver the equipment. And also, if you're looking for a piece of rental equipment and Dwayne doesn't currently have it in his fleet, that's okay. Give him a shout. He is always looking to expand his fleet to better serve the customers in his area. And that's pretty much about it. I think that wraps it up fairly well.
Thank you very much, Carter. It's great. I love doing these kind of interviews, and this was as good as they come. I'm glad we did this one again today. And so, once again, my guest on the program, the Farm Show, is Carter Flaman, Territory Rental Manager for Saskatchewan and Manitoba at Flaman Group of Companies. This is Harry Siemens for the Farm Show, and also Siemens Says reporting.